Richard Bridge and Military Complex. The military camps in Richard Bridge were located in the bend of the North Platte River about 1/2 mile north of Evansville, Wyoming. Locally known as Reshaw Bridge, the area is marked by a historical sign. John Richard Reshaw constructed a toll bridge in 1852-53 to offer a crossing for the Oregon-California Mormon Trail immigrants. On November 2, 1855, members of the 4th Artillery, 6th Infantry, and 10th Infantry arrived at the Richard Trading Post and established a military camp. In January of 1856, the camp became known as Fort Clay. From February through June, the name was changed to Camp Davis. Special Order Number 9 on March 6, 1856 directed the garrison to protect the bridge and other interest in that part of the country. The camp at Richard Bridge was abandoned in November of 1856. The area was again garrisoned by members of the 4th Artillery in July 1858 when they established post at Platte Bridge. The post was informally called Camp Payne by the troops and was abandoned in April of 1859. The next time troops were garrisoned in this area, they located at Fort Caspar near Gennard's Bridge. The Mormons. Brigham Young led the first group of Mormons west from winter quarters in Nebraska in 1847, finally settling in the Salt Lake Valley. When these pioneers crossed the river here, they left 9 men to operate a ferry. This ferry served fellow Mormons as well as Oregon and California-bound immigrants and provided much-needed money and supplies for the settlements in Utah. In October of 1856, Natrona County's greatest tragedy began at what is now Bessemer Bend and continued to Martin's Cove near Devil's Gate. The 6th Mormon Handcart Company, under Captain Edward Martin, struggled through an early Wyoming blizzard. Over 135 persons perished in this 50-mile stretch of handcart travel. Chislett's narrative states, many a father pulled his cart with his little children on it, until the day preceding his death. I have seen some pull their carts in the morning, give out during the day, and die before the next morning. Oregon-California Mormon Trails. From 1840 to 1869, over 350,000 immigrants traveled past this area on the Oregon-California Mormon Trails. The promise of free land, sudden riches, or religious freedom caused these pioneers to endure great hardships. Thousands of persons died in the quest and are buried along this old pathway. Only 2 graves in Natrona County are identified by name as trail-dated burials. This is unusual due to the fact that hundreds of persons died while traveling through our county. Drowning, disease, and accidents took a toll in our area, especially between this point and Devil's Gate. The peak of migration was in 1852. 70,000 persons passed this spot, most on their way to California gold fields. These trails contributed to the largest overland migration in history. Military explorers. John C. Fremont, the Pathfinder, was born in 1813 and explored a large portion of central Wyoming, including the Caspar area. He made an independent survey to the Wind River Mountains of Wyoming in 1842 in the 13,743-foot Fremont Peak of the Wind Rivers and named of his honor. Fremont tried unsuccessfully to navigate the North Platte River through a canyon southwest of Caspar in August of 1842. The boat capsized, resulting in the loss of important mapping equipment, journals, requesters, maps, and supplies. Subsequently, he received the dubious honor of having this area come to be known as Fremont Canyon. Through the recommendation of Fremont, the government purchased and garrisoned Fort Laramie in 1849. Benjamin L. E. Bonneville passed this point in the summer of 1832 during the exploration of the Central Rockies. Bonneville, an American soldier, was born in France in 1796 and served with the 7th U.S. Infantry. In 1832, he led an expedition of 110 men and 20 wagons along the North Platte River, thus becoming the first to take wagons through the South Pass. In 1833, he found an oil seep at Dallas Dome near present-day Lander, Wyoming. The drilling of the No. 1 Murphy well in 1884 kicked off the production of oil in Wyoming. Robert Stewart Cabin Site. Approximately 8 miles southwest of here, Robert Stewart built the first cabin in the state of Wyoming. The cabin was built in a 3-day period in early November 1812 at a site on the North Platte River at Bessemer Bend. Robert Stewart was a member of the John Jacob Astor Fur Trading Company that was under the command of William Price Hunt in 1812. After Astor's ship, the Tonquin, blew up in the Pacific Ocean and killed the crew, news was sent back to Astor via Robert Stewart. His route would take him over the Rockies from the mouth of the Columbia River to St. Louis. Stewart's cabin was built of stone with a buffalo hide roof. According to his diary, it was 8 feet wide, 8 feet long, and 3 feet high. A hole in the center of the hide roof let the smoke escape. Following a visit by Arapahoes and learning of Crow Indians nearby, Stewart and his party abandoned their camp on December 13, 1812. They proceeded to present-day Torrington, near the Wyoming-Nebraska border, where they spent the remainder of the winter. Indians of Wyoming. At the time of the Great Migration of immigrants through Wyoming to the Pacific Coast, and Utah Indians were the largest group of residents in Wyoming. Many of these tribes, such as Utes and Blackfeet, were semi-permanent and nomadic, traveling in and out of Wyoming as warrior hunting societies. The roaming buffalo supplied the Indians with all their subsistence, and the introduction of the horse provided them ability to hunt the buffalo in great numbers. The Shoshone were located in the western part of Wyoming, generally in the Green River Valley. The Crows were living in the Big Horn and Powder River basins in northern Wyoming and southern Montana. The Cheyenne, Arapaho, and Sioux claimed the southeast part of Wyoming, an area heavily traveled during the immigrant migration. The coming of the immigrants in great numbers was accepted peacefully by the Crow and Shoshone, but the Sioux, with the help of the Cheyenne and Arapaho, resisted fiercely. From 1853 until 1877, the Sioux and their allies fought this intrusion in numerous battles until final defeat forced them to accept the invasion and reservation life. In Wyoming, the Wind River Indian Reservation is the home of the Arapaho and the Shoshone.